Hello, welcome. There's another video of Kelly Reyna nearby. If you haven't watched that one, that's our intro to, why gray edges and some other questions that you might have for Kelly Reyna, the gray edges painter that has the Gray Edges studio and art gallery at 1614 Mac Davis Lane, right down the street from the new Buddy Holly Hall of the Performing Arts and Sciences and Ravon and Luca and like the Lubbock Symphony and everything going on. You're right there in that epicenter of all this cool stuff going on here in Lubbock, Texas. So I'm Jonathan Blackwell, managing partner of Nashville here at 1212 Avenue K. My wife Angela Blackwell is around. And definitely not on camera. You probably won't ever find her like consciously on camera. But I wanted to bring Kelly in as our first interview in this new space because like a lot of people that have come back to Lubbock, like she's just has breathed so much life into this place. And I wanted to celebrate that and just spend time with you in general. But we, in the first video, introduced Gray Edges and some of the work that you have, the South Plains College show in Levelland that has the opening on January 20th, 4 to 6 p.m., 2022. But Gray Edges also is a nonprofit. And I'll just stop talking and let you lead with that. What should people know?
Yeah, so our mission is to help or assist underrepresented artists. Through exhibitions, through maybe workshops, art supplies, networking, any way we can, because we are all artists there and we need all the help we can get. But also equally important, our mission is to help the families of autistic children or just neurodiverse families in general. So we're all inclusive. That being said, but we especially have a heart for families who have autistic children. As myself, I have my son, and he's a big inspiration with that. So we have reached out, or we've connected with the Burkhart Center, and we held their first, well, for us it was a first. The Transition Academy students, they take art courses and they make a lot of art and they sell it, and it helps support them and helps them feel like they're making something and making some money. And so we held their show and art sale in November. That was the first for us, and hopefully they'll have another one in the spring. They sold quite a lot, so they've got to make more and make some more things, and then we'll have another one, and we'll be their spot for them in our studio.
And that's such a beautiful story, because Kelly and I were talking about the work that Gray Edges does for autistic children and their families, and how Kelly has a mother in her story that you might also want to revisit in that first video nearby, with finishing a bachelor's, going to Ann Arbor, Michigan with a child that was diagnosed with autism, and then that kind of changing your plans, and you ended up coming back to Lubbock to finish your master's of fine arts at the School of Art at Texas Tech. And right next to the School of Art, kind of nestled between the School of Art and the School of Dance, is the Burkhart Center for Autism Education and Research. It's like this really internationally renowned center for exactly what you are doing, providing resources to families. And I'm just so glad to know that you're in cahoots with them, and that there's good stuff happening between you, and that as Kelly was telling me, like November of 2021.
Yes, this past November.
Just last month.
Yes.
We're shooting this a few days before Christmas, December 20th, 2021. And it was a really successful event with autistic children and their families celebrating their really like God-given talents that they have, that are just kind of expressed in different ways than what we're used to. And I mean, there's so many conversations that we could have about just how autistic children, with the gifts that they have and how they express themselves, any perception of limitations as we kind of cross that boundary of thinking it's a limitation, finding out like all these other ways to communicate that might even be more universal than simple language. And there were some things that you mentioned to me about that, like with your child and in general, how art and gray edges, can work in
Right.
that process. So I'll just let you share,
Yes,
like how you communicate with your son. And
yes, and that's the beauty of art, is being able to have this other way of communicating with someone, having a conversation, and I called them visual conversations, and using maybe markers, crayons, or ink, watercolor. There was a good strong watercolor phase that my son was into, and I could take that and draw something or paint something, and then he might add something to that conversation, and then so it'd be a back and forth, but it'd be a way to bond, and something that I did something with him, made something, created something, had this bonding experience, and I wanted to share that. And so this past summer I held 2 different workshops. One was drawing, collaborative drawing with the parent and child. So you didn't just sign up, just one person. You need to sign up with your child, and they didn't necessarily have to be autistic either. But in that workshop, there were several, parent and child that participated, and they were autistic. And the parents, I think probably for the parents it meant a lot more. Probably, I'm just guessing, but essentially too, I know that for me, I need that comfort knowing that there is a way to connect with my child that's non-traditional. It's not like a conversation we can have verbally, but it's something that we did together. So I know that for the parents, that was something that meant a lot to them. And then the other one was a painting, parent and child painting workshop. So trying different mediums with different ages. So the younger ones were more of the drawing media, the older some painting. And so in this next year, hopefully we'll have some more with using different media. We had an opening in April, I believe, when we opened as a nonprofit. We had a mixer, and we had different stations where we had different activities, and we gave out surveys too. What do you want from us?
Wow.
What can we provide art-wise that you would be interested in? Our ceramic workshop was really popular this summer, and that was all inclusive to anyone. It didn't necessarily have to be autistic children, but
yeah, I'm just thinking how hands-on
Yeah.
that those things are. And even so, like my wife has volunteered with the equestrian center that can take autistic children like on horseback to just
Right.
kind of shake them up, and it's like they end up like hearing themselves make noise or just kind of vocalizing or expressing themselves in
Right.
different ways. So
Yeah.
I just want to make sure people know how to find you. So, I mean, even if through the Burkhart Center, like, how do I get in contact with Kelly Reyna? How do I participate in the Gray Edges nonprofit work with art? What's the best way for people to reach out?
Well, we have a website, which is www.grayedges.com. But phone numbers are listed on there. You can find me, Gray Edges Painter, all one word, at Gmail. Facebook, we have a Gray Edges Facebook page and Instagram page.
Yeah. And beautiful work
Yeah.
there. And I
Thank
enjoy
you.
following you. I hope if you're watching this that you'll follow Kelly at Gray Edges.
Yes.
And just thank you so much, Kelly, for
Thank you for
talking
having me.
to us.
Yes,
And
absolutely. Thank
yeah.
you.
So I'm Jonathan Blackwell with Line Brand here at Nashville, and Kelly Reyna, Gray Edges Painter. So glad to have you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for watching.